was actually picked up by a former Indian. Had a lot of Indian cricketers come from as well. So he was an exception to that rule, but he's a really powerful lad. And Patrick Fahad, we saw him along with Prithvi Shaw, who's unfortunately taken, looks like he's gone to hospital for some scans on that left ankle.
That's a wide. That one nearly bounced at his feet, Yadav, and sailed way over the head of Carter.
And Patrick Fahad was saying how different body types in the bowling unit, and Yadav is probably someone that he can relate to a lot more about. Of course, Paddy doing a lot of work and being from Australia, worked with someone like Paddy Cummins when he was 17, along with Glenn McGrath coming from New South Wales, and those type of body types. And Umesh Yadav, he ranks in that sort of category. While you look at someone like Mohammad Shami or even Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's not playing today. Another bouncer. How's that one? Bit lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, perhaps overbowled though. There's another relatively expensive one. There's 9s come from it, so one for 133, CA11.
Darcy Short's looking good. So, well, Bhuvneshwar Kumar is a little bit different. He's a lot more whippy. So just sort of maintaining him and sort of developing his muscles and you know, the fast bowling sort of science varies so much from one player to another. And yeah, and especially Paddy Fahad talked about that, where almost a lot of the Australian bowlers are almost in a similar type of mould, where the Indian bowlers vary a lot, and of course varies with their diet as well. I mean, what they eat. Someone don't see many vegetarians in this Indian team now. That's changed as well. Of course, Virat Kohli is a vegan, and I believe Cheteshwar Pujara is a vegetarian. So apart from that, most of them like their meat, their chicken. So it's about, it's such a broad country, such a diverse sort of, in terms of languages and what diet they eat, even types of behaviours. I remember covering the 2012 Under-19 World Cup with some of the Indian Under-19 cricketers, and there's a fast bowler hailing from north of India, and of course English isn't spoken, or they're not exposed to English as much, especially the part of the North India that he'd come from, very close to the sort of the mountains, the Himalayas, and he was rooming with somebody who predominantly spoke English, coming from Chennai, and they were paired up about 6 months ago in their rooms. And then of course, the more you go towards south of India, they don't speak Hindi, which is the national language, and here they were, two roommates sitting next to each other and almost didn't know which language to communicate in, and despite coming from the same country. So that's the beauty of India, I guess, and how much of a challenge it is. I know Greg Chappell always talks about it, having coached in India, and said trying to gel sort of, 11 or 12 players from various backgrounds from different parts of India. It's not that easy. From the outside, we just see, yes, India, but
I was talking to Lisa just before about 10 years ago now. I was lucky enough to be in India just before the first IPL, and fantastic place to be and to immerse yourself in that culture. It's Yadav, and driving straight is Carter, but he doesn't quite time it. I was lucky enough to be in around sort of Delhi and Jaipur, and then head over towards Agra, the Taj Mahal, and everything. So up in that northern area, and no doubt a number of people in and around the cricket community who are not hailing from India have travelled all across wonderful country. That one, and I'm just enjoying listening. There's all sorts of things I'm learning here about the Indian team and about culture. What do you think is the biggest challenge? You mentioned that Greg Chappell had a challenge bringing all the cultures together. Do you think that having someone like Ravi Shastri in charge helps that. Obviously, he'd have his own background and whatever. And does he think having someone who is born into the system, if you like, from the beginning definitely helps their side come together?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ravi, and he's arguably one of the greatest motivators you can have around the team. I mean, just the way he's influenced some of the team and just the positive energy he builds, and that reflects. And I think him and Virat Kohli get along, so well because they're similar sort of mindset. And they're not afraid of losing, if I could say that. The cricket, luck plays a huge part, and I keep referring back to that series over in England, where sort of
it's just cut him in half there. Carter just seam back slightly. It's good delivery from Yadav, who's been hitting a hard length, and Carter now 3 from 30 balls. So just starting to get a little frustrated. He's seen there cut in half by good delivery from the Indian quick.
Yeah, so look, and so I think it's a lot easier now to gel sort of these players as they play a lot of cricket together. I mean, we're going back maybe 15 years ago. India's probably playing only sort of 5 test matches a year and a handful of one-dayers. And now there's so much cricket, I mean, especially with IPL, and I think I was online yesterday mentioning that India has 6 domestic tournaments together. And a lot of them have been structured out now where they bring together the best players around India and have categories such as India A, India B, India C, and they go through a one-day format, a 4-day format as well. So a lot of these players play against each other, they share the same dressing rooms, and just sort of the under-19 setup, the under-16 setup. And that allows, I think, all the players to get exposed to all these new players and from various different parts of the country. I mean, we were talking about it yesterday where traditionally you had 27 domestic teams. Now that's been increased to 37, and a lot of those new teams have come from northeast of India. So a lot of people who might be listening to us might want to Google it, but if you just sort of look know where Bangladesh is, and Bangladesh sits almost inside of India, and on the other side are 7 different Indian states, and that's so for football-orientated states. And now the BCCI is trying to bring cricketers through those systems. There was a player playing in the under-19 World Cup, Rian. I'll get to his surname sometime during our call, but he came through over playing in Assam as well, which is clearly they're trying to spread the game, and it's hard. I mean, it seems rather strange if you want to spread cricket in India because you've been there, it's played across different streets to balconies to benched as probably we all believe in. So that's a good incentive from BCCI. So 37 different domestic teams, but might have been a carrom ball, that one by Ravi Ashwin.
Yeah, we can just see this over that Ashwin's gone over the wicket, so just looking to change up the angle and perhaps a couple of flatter deliveries, just pushing across short here. I wonder if he's going to look to try and get one straight, trap him LBW.
Likes to do this a lot. He might just change for about 2 or 3 deliveries, and what he likes to do is, especially for a left-hander, if you're watching Ravi Ashwin coming from around the wicket, your eyes just slightly sort of opened up a little bit more, and then he likes to go around the wicket, and that again closes you off. So he plays with your sort of body posture a little bit, and that creates those small angles that would allow him to bowl and just get that edge because you're just not right there. You've been opened up, and your bat goes away from you slightly. So these tricks and trades of Ravi Ashwin. Of course, we talked about the carrom ball. You're over in India. Did you ever see the game carrom? It's a bit of a board game.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, so that's where the carrom actually comes from. So it's a bit like pool, but you've got these coins, and you sort of flick, and there's a striker. And you've got coins on the table which are generally made of wood, and you've got 4 different pockets, and you've got 9 white coins and 9 black coins and 1 red coin, which is called a queen. So, and you sort of have to get the striker, which is generally made of ivory, and there's lines on sort of 4 sides. You can play it as a 4-player game or a 2-player game, and you hold the striker, which is made of ivory, as I said, and you try flick your index finger or your middle finger onto the striker and line the coins up and try sink them into pockets. So that's where the term really originated from.
Shami's back in. He just has Carter driving, so no joy yet for the Indian Quicks. Okay, so the origins of the carom ball is out of that game. Is there any other sort of customs of different cultures where they've created a cricket delivery out of, or a variation? I know we have all sorts of variations across the world. Is there anything of a similar nature to the carom ball coming from that game?
Nothing else from that game, but it's funny enough, you would say the uppercut, which is sort of, you short ball outside the off stump and you give it a bit of a flick over the slips, and sometimes they, in India...
Just tucks him up again, another leg wide to the leg side.
And in Hindi, instead of upper, they say uppar, uppercut. So uppar means over the top. So that's not quite referring to carom here, but uppercut, uppercut. So
things you learn.
Absolutely. It's funny to listening to Paran Abul. He might be registered to come in next, and him and Jason Sanger, of course, they're coming from Indian sort of heritage and can understand a bit of Hindi as well. And during the Under-19 World Cup, when the final was going on, and Paran definitely said, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we see the Indian boys probably saying
short
words
balls just reeled in,
such as, try the uppercut or play the uppercut, then we might be able to understand a few of those tactics. And there's so many different languages. There's more than 30-odd dialects in India as well. Like, so Rohit Sharma and Ajinkya Rahane batting. I know there's tales of when Rahul Dravid, of course, and batting with Sachin Tendulkar against Pakistan. And what you would find is Hindi, which is the national language, is very similar to Urdu, which they speak in Pakistan. So
again, just taking the thigh guard, trickling through to Rishabh Pant.
And what they used to do, and Rahul Dravid speaks a bit of Marathi, and so does Sachin Tendulkar, so they'll change it up a little bit. So playing against Pakistan, they'll start speaking Marathi. So the Pakistani fielders wouldn't understand their tactics, and we might see that in this match. I mean, of course, throughout the summer where, sometimes you've got someone like Murali Vijay and Ravi Ashwin who hail from Tamil Nadu, which is the southern state, and they speak the language Tamil, so...
Ball shot from Carter, and that'll be a boundary. Much needed for him. He's 4 from 35 balls and takes himself on to 8, so that might just break the shackles for him. A little bit short from Shami. He's raced away behind square.
Yeah, so there's language, there's different diets. I'm sure when you went across to Jaipur, I'm not sure what sort of Indian food did you have?
I found myself eating all manner of traditional foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I found myself enjoying a lot of lentil-based lunches and sort of different curries out of that. And of course, every roadhouse there's 17 variations of naan, which for us boys of Anglo background, it was a delicious food, but also eating that constantly is a very different diet than you used to, and sometimes some of the plainer foods made a more regular appearance towards the end of the troopers, who were starting to get a little bit upset stomachs, if you like. But that's no criticism of the food. It's absolutely delicious. It's just obviously everyone grows up eating very different things than you used to, and
It's like Ravindra Jadeja is going to get a bit of a bowl here before, still about 35 odd minutes before lunch, but
I'll be interested to see what Jadeja can do here. There's obviously not been a lot of sideways spin, but that means with 2 left-handers, he might just get the ball to drift away and bring something like a first slip into play. You can see a couple of fielders around the bat. Looks like there's a leg slip in place at the moment for Jadeja as well. Just looking there at the ladies' stand. There's a nice, healthy crowd in for a Friday.
So just to update quickly on Prithvi Shaw. So the medical team is assessing Prithvi Shaw at the moment. He hurt his left ankle, as we saw on the coverage while attempting to take a catch. Shaw has been taken to hospital for scans. So fingers crossed for him, and we want to see him play in that first test match. So once we get any further update, we'll keep you posted. But right now, Prithvi Shaw has been taken to hospital, so Patrick Farhad going across with him. So fingers crossed for him, because it doesn't matter who you're actually supporting, there's nothing like watching a young batsman going up and bowl.
4 runs, Darcy Short latches on to a short wide delivery there from Jadeja, who's just easing into his spell. Yeah, boy, fingers crossed for Prithvi Shaw. He actually took the catch very well out on the deep mid-wicket boundary, and then just rolled his ankle as he was trying to steady himself and fell over the boundary. But yeah, that looked nasty. When we had the slow motion replay, we could see just the moment that things went ugly for Shaw. Short goes long, and that has gone for 4. Straight over Jadeja's head. There's no one back at long on or long off, and he was happy to accept that ball in the slot. Here's a replay. Good shot, Gav.
Beautiful shot. That's Darcy Short. Bit of a golf swing in that. Love the follow through. We talked about it when I was on with Lisa yesterday with Rohit Sharma's bat swing, but geez, a lot of power. I don't think he got a lot of it, because Short does hit the ball. They go a long way. I don't think it would have landed short of side screen. It would have been in the second tier. Terrific knock by Darcy Short. There's a bit of criticism about him, not being a...
Yeah, and a single to finish off as well. It's good batting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, rotate the strike as well. And immediately putting Jadeja under pressure. But I think he's got a very good technique. I mean, has he got the game to play sort of red ball cricket, and just hasn't played a lot of first class cricket, and just the way the schedules are these days, he might play one match and then suddenly he's part of the Australian T20 setup or the one-day setup and can't play another game. There is stiff competition, especially across in WA, isn't there?
Yeah, well, when you think of WA, have had 2, their top order has failed collectively twice against New South Wales over there in this current Shield round, so big incentive here for Short to put together a big innings and show that he can hold down a place at the top of the order in red ball cricket. Obviously, we're getting to a situation these days of specialist players where we have Australian T20 players don't make the first class sides. Runs there. I remember the time that David Warner came into the Australian T20 side before he'd made his first class debut for New South Wales, and it was shock horror. People couldn't believe what was going on. Fast forward, now, what is it, nearly 10 years since that game of the MCG, might have been 2009 from memory, and you look now that sort of stuff happens fairly frequently. It's not all the time, it's not widespread, but there's certainly a lot of players making their mark in one format or another, and whatever's at the opposite end of the spectrum, they're taking a little longer to find their feet.
Yeah, there's a West Indian cricketer who, I can't recall the name on top of my head, but he played one first-class match, and he was straight into Test cricket. So it does happen a fair bit. I think I was just going through some of the numbers of the Indian players yesterday, and the amount of first-class cricket that they had played. So Prithvi Shaw, yes, he's a bit raw, 17, but Cheteshwar Pujara, 180 first-class matches. Virat Kohli, 105, Ajinkya Rahane, 120. Parthiv Patel, who's not playing in this match, but he's in the squad, 185. Some of the Indian bowlers, of course, it's slightly different, especially with workload management coming in as well, but Ishant Sharma, 87. We've got Ravichandra Ashwin playing 64. Ravindra Jadeja, 39, sorry, that's Test matches. Let me start that again. 129 for Ishant Sharma, 108 for Ravichandran Ashwin, 92 for Ravindra Jadeja. So that's a lot of first-class cricket, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And you see there's a lot of players playing the bulk of their first-class cricket at Test level. They've made an early impression and got themselves into this Indian side and held on to their spots. Shami's around the wicket. Again, just tucking Carter up. They're not giving him any width to work with. He's chewing up a lot of balls here, 8 from 39. But the other side of the coin, he's got a long day ahead of him. We have failed to mention this over Gav. It's 150 up for the CA11. It's come in middle of the 32nd over. So what's that? Around a 4.8-ish sort of runs and over mark. Let's cut him in half again. A stifled appeal. Paul Wilson not interested. Seen that happen a few times here for Carter. That ball just angling back slightly from around the wicket. It's gone between the bat and the thigh guard. Let's just see the replay.
Yeah, Chami just wide at the crease, and that is exceptional by Mohamed Chami. I mean, we talk about the Kookaburra ball not really moving anywhere, and a lot of it to do with the angle that he's got, but we're 30-second overs in, and the ball is seaming slightly, so he's a really good exponent. I think there's reverse swing. Normally you see the Indian bowlers and most bowlers around the world now hiding it.
Nice shot, just in front of square. I look for two, but good work there in the field. So I won't get it. So just having a look here at the scorecard for the day, and we can see that it's been a pretty productive day for the CA11. Just 1 wicket to fall, that of Max Bryant for a quick fire 62. Darcy Short is still there on 72. Their opening stand of 114 was broken by Ravi Ashwin, who has a tidy 1 for 14 from his 8 overs. He had Bryant dancing down the wicket and bowled him through the gate. So Jake Carter, 9 not out from 41. He's taken a little while to get into his innings. It's all been about Darcy Short since the departure of Bryant. And as we mentioned, with some shield spots potentially up for grabs in the coming weeks, Short is doing his chances no harm.
Look at that beautiful sight. Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Opera House, and the ferries. I wonder if Jadeja's just got one to spin slightly out of those footmarks. You can see just outside the left-handers off stump, there's a little bit of rough, just a little. I might have turned. He's a good bowler, Ravindra Jadeja.
Another cricketer who's been around for a long time.
Yeah, they call him, his nickname is Stajad. Short for Jadeja. They also call him Sir Ravindra Jadeja, a name that was derived for him after a few jokes that were made about him, about how he was the Indian all-rounder, and somebody almost said, it's a bit like Garfield Service, Sir Garfield Service, so that's where sort of the Sir came in about, and it's just sort of cling on, and yeah, good on Ravindra Jadeja to sort of accept that as well. So you've seen his celebration when he gets a 100 or a 50.
Yeah, he's enthusiastic, isn't he?
Yeah, the sword celebration. So he must be quite strong. I mean, cricket bats these days, and that's right. And there is a reason for all those. So maybe people are listening in as his over's done. That's the other thing about Jadeja. His overs, I reckon, the record I think he has for an over bowled, I think he's got through an over in about a minute and 4 seconds.
Yeah, you'd have to think that if he and Ashwin, we saw Ashwin racing through his overs earlier on as well, if they were bowling in tandem and things were a bit tight, they could be pushing 45 overs in a session between them, which is, there's no rest for these quicks at the other end. Poor Mohamed Shami just charged in for a good over. He's hitting back the length, hitting the wicket hard, and he gets about a 90-second rest, and then he's got the ball in hand again.
Absolutely, and then Lisa was on earlier, we were talking about where fast bowlers should be fielding. I mean, if Jadeja's bowling from the other end, that one.
Yeah, slashing there Short. He wants a piece, doesn't he?
And if we're talking where do fast bowlers need to field? I mean, if you've got Jadeja bowling from the other end, you might as well stick them in slips, because by the time that they run up to fine leg, you might see them. Jadeja almost bowled like two balls already. So Chandra and Ashwin just out there, but deep backward point. 2 men out on the leg side. Kale Rahul's out there as well.
It's a nice shot in front of square by Short. Great timing again. That's racing away. A bit of work on in the field. It does well to pull it back in, and there's no three either, so it's an excellent piece of fielding there.
We were talking about different players and this formidable Indian batting lineup, and a bit of a quiz question for you. Who do you think has the most triple hundreds in this Indian squad? I'm talking about first class cricket. None in this team have achieved it. I know Rohit Sharma's got a triple hundred in first class cricket, but who do you think has the most triple hundreds? Bit of a quiz.
In the squad?
In the squad.
Not sure.
Not sure. A bit of a hint. I mean, still a bit of bowling from the other end.
Really?
Ravindra Jadeja has 3 triple hundreds in domestic cricket.
That's a serious effort. 3 triple hundreds. I can't say I was aware of that, but
well,
that's no wonder they call him Sir Governor.
Exactly.
Sir Ravindra Jadeja. Far out.
Yeah, averages 47 in first class cricket. So, as they say, I mean, it's a joke around in domestic cricket that want to
stifled appeal there as well. Shorty's jammed a few onto his pads today.
Just pointing his bat towards Rishabh Pant, just letting him know that there's a big inside edge on that one. But there is a joke where they play their domestic cricket, where Jadeja hails from, out in Saurashtra, out towards the west, in the state of Gujarat, in Rajkot. And the theory is, if you want to get yourself into form, you bat out at Rajkot, because your chances are you're going to score 100 or a double 100. Pujara also hailing from that part of the world, but surprisingly enough,
and he's gone. Darcy Short, stop edge one down the leg side, and just like that, his productive innings of 74 is over. And look, he's furious. As Short down leg side from Shami, just got a little tickle there off the bat of Short, and he has to go.
Yeah, Mohammad Shami's had this tactic from pretty much about the 3rd or 4th over onwards, where he's attempted to cramp Darcy Short, and he's finally succeeded. And it's a decent bouncer. Must say, Darcy Short will be extremely disappointed. He would have been hoping to just let that pass, but such is the case. He got a bit of a glove or a fine edge to it.
Yeah, it looks like a glove, isn't it? So that's pretty disappointing for Short. At 74 he's made today. But, yeah, you got to say, Shami bowled well, and he's probably deserved something, but whether he deserved it like that in those circumstances, I guess you just take it how you can. Yeah, it brings to the crease the captain of the CA11, Sam Whiteman.
Yeah, another left-hander. It's a good test for India. I mean, people saying just the quality of the opposition, but I must say a lot of left-handers, that's what Indian bowlers are going to have to bowl against in the test series. I mean, as I said, Usman Khawaja will be there, Sean Marsh, expect Travis Head to play, Mark Harris. Yeah.
Four of the top 6 potentially.
4 of the top 6, and a few in the tail as well, a couple at least, Mitchell Stark and Joshie Hazlewood as well, left-handers.
Yeah, Australia's got a proud tradition of left-handers all through there. Or do you think back to the days of Langer and Hayden opening the batting, and there's all sorts of Adam Gilchrist, obviously one of the most destructive players of all time.
Mike Hussey, of course.
Yep.
Don't forget the Huss.
So Whiteman, who's had a bit of a stop-start first-class career, he's obviously had some injury worries, but he's lost his place in the Warriors Shield side to Josh Phillippe, the wicket-keeper. So he'll be looking to make an impression here at number 4. He's facing Shami. He's under a bouncer, first ball. That does complete the over, so a successful one for India, 2 for 153.
Whiteman, of course, born in Yorkshire, 26 years of age, and he was almost touted as the next keeper, especially after the retirement of Brad Haddon, but he's had a difficult time with finger injuries. And see nephew, Dennis, is one of the members in the middle. He's been helping out with the Indian team and got a few fans as well. So a few lattes there with the members stand.
The back foot and a single down to mid-off. Good running.
These lattes, the Indian players, of course, love their chai. See that Indian chais are so rich, aren't they? I mean,
it's delicious, isn't it?
Oh. Sometimes need those, especially in afternoon sometimes when after a big heavy lunch. Wider of the crease. Yeah, you're right, Matt. There's certainly a bit of rough spot there. I mean, a few foot marks. We did have a lot of rain, which meaning there was a bit of moisture underneath, and Jade just trying to exploit those marks. And I'm surprised we just haven't got anyone in close on the left side.
Edged away. Yeah, well, just talking, wondering if there should be more men in close, but that one's just flown wide. A slip jammed out there. Pretty full delivery. Does get Whiteman off the mark. They get 3 down to third man, so a little streaky.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you want from a Jade to constantly hit that spot. And touched on it yesterday. Just went wider of the crease. Just opening the face of the bat slightly. It's so full the ball was. Jinka Rahane at first slip, Road Chalmers at leg slip. So Rahane is normally stationed there. It's a very good record, especially. It's interesting, Rahane feels there for the spinners, but he's not in the court for the fast bowlers. So he's a pure specialist, slip specialist just for spin bowlers for India.
Yeah, it's a funny position to field off the spinners. It's all about having quick reactions and being able to anticipate. You really need to be almost moving, just ready to go just before the batsman hits the ball down the wicket. This Carter can't find the gap. Be ready to move those hands either way. See, so often it's a quick, sharp reaction off the spin. Very difficult position to field, but very rewarding as well if you can get good at it. I guess 2 for 1, 57 from the over.
No better than Mark Wall, was there?
Oh yeah, Mark Wall, Mark Taylor, even Matthew Hayden when he moved in there.
Yep.
After their retirements.
Michael Clark was quite good. Yeah, there as well.
Yeah, with a good pair of hands, you'll go well and slip off the spinners.
Yeah, it's such a fine art, especially in Australia as well, because generally we have a lot of slips for the fast bowlers and not really for the spinners, and the amount of overs they bowl as well.
Yeah, and it typically comes quite quick as well.
Yep.
That slip off the spinners, a lot of times you're getting players back and cutting with a bit of bounce, and it's quite hard to pick up. And that one's chopped him in half again, so Shammy, absolutely no luck around the wicket. And it's Whiteman this time who's got a little tick on it. 4 runs down to fine leg. That one could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, good bowling by Shammy. He just got into his groove, especially in this spell, bowling around the wickets of the left-handers. He got the wicket of Darcy Short with a bouncer, and just bringing that ball back. And this is exactly what India would have wanted in terms of their tour match. Of course, probably more of a different kind of opposition than what they're expecting, of course, next week. But in terms of the pitch, the conditions.
Streaky one from Whiteman outside off.
He's a good bowler, this Mohammad Shami.
Yeah, he is. I just wonder if Whiteman's just a little bit nervous out here. Not too sure how much cricket he's been playing of late, but already seen him get a 3 and a boundary off the edge, both the outside and the inside edge. That one's past the outside. He's been pushing a little hard at the ball. He might just be feeling for it early and looking to get himself away. You're right, Shami's bowling superbly here. From around the wicket, the left-handers must feel like they need to almost play at everything from that angle. Bounce up, but he gets under.
I just wonder if Jinka Rahane might be the man who's captaining the team at the moment? Because if we just look at the dressing rooms at the moment, I think it's Virat Kohli. Looks like he's got some pads tucked under him, so I think he might be going for a hit at the back of the nets. Might get the cameraman to.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Just coming out of the Indian players' race there, Virat Kohli. He's decided he's going to have a little. He's not too interested in what's going on out on the field at the moment.
And I reckon if some of those Indian fans are out there in the crowd, if they spot him going up the back, they're going to race to the back of the members' stand and just to go see him bat. But maybe he's just drying his equipment in the sun. Finally got a bit of sun here in Sydney after 3 days of, well, 2 days at least, of heavy showers. So there he is, the Indian skipper. Look at all his equipment. Maybe he's just doing the same thing, bringing out the keeping pads or...
Again, Shami must be getting a little bit of zip off the wicket because he's tucked Whiteman up once again. All these left-handers who've been facing him from around the wicket have really struggled with that ball just angling back in.
Yeah, he's bowled plenty of overs as well. In his 10th over, bowled a couple yesterday. So 8 overs today for Mohammad Shami. So good workload for the Indian fast bowlers. Must say Ishan Sharma is quite impressive. Changed ends immediately. I think might have had a few problems with the footholds as he's running in from the Paddington end of the ground.
Fall in the block hole. That time and Whiteman digs it out. Ends another good over from Shami. No fortune for him in that one. CA11 2 for 161 after 36.
And maybe Virat just making himself out towards where the players are enjoying a bit of shade on the just below us, but near the ground staff as well. It's nice to be outside. There he is. King Kohli, as they call him. Pick up what he's saying. He's pretty close to our mics there, speaking in Hindi. Might have been saying something along the lines of keep out of the sun, boys.
So Sam Whiteman's had a bit of a streaky start to his innings. The other end, Jake Carter's been relatively solid, but really unable to get the scoreboard moving. He's 10 from 52 now. Strike to Jadeja. Again, he's defending, coming forward.
Defending in spinner in Australia is so much different to in India because the ball bounces so much. So traditionally, because of the bounce here,
big appeal for LBW. He's not given. And there were 2 leg byes there. Good running by Carter. In fact, that's been given as runs. So maybe a little inside edge there. And with the leg slip and the slip both in place, might be a little lucky that one's not just ballooned straight up to the fielder.
Yeah, we get the rip. He was quite wide at the crease, so well, the umpire signalled it as runs, but as rightfully said, Matt might have been slipping down the leg side, especially with the angle, and given that Jadeja actually spins the ball into the batsman.
Yeah, with that angle, it was slipping down leg, but I just wonder if he was a little lucky to get away with potential bat pad opportunity, Carter, but he's still there. He might just be looking to slowly get things moving here.
He was so confident in his appeal, Jadeja just ran down the pitch and opportunity here.
Yeah, good running down there towards mid-off.
Look at the appeal. just love it. He's just running down the pitch. He's been, what do you think had the best appeal in sort of cricket in the last sort of decade or two? I love Imran Tahir's celebrations where he just goes all around the ground.
Oh yeah, he's off. He's just there's a line of commentary that gets replayed a lot, which is after Shane Warne took his 700th wicket. He had one arm in the air, and Mark Taylor just said, they can't catch him. And every time I see a player do a tahi or someone like that, or there's someone else, I can't think, the other day actually it was Khalil, took a few wickets in the T20.
Yes.
Both arms out, and he was off.
The aeroplane, yes.
Like the old paid plane for the rugby league fans in Australia.
The big 747, yeah, it's good celebrations. And the West Indian players have great celebrations in them, don't they?
Oh yeah, some of the dance moves that get pulled out there, as we see Ravi Ashwin switch around ends. He's going to come on from the Rand wicket.
Ajinkya Rahane is just doing the captaincy out there for India. He's the vice captain on tour. So he captained India in 2 test matches, one against Afghanistan in June, a test match that ended in just over a couple of days, but Ashwin just trying to find himself. Rohit Sharma, he's the vice captain of the T20 team or the one-day team. Just watch his wrists. He try experiment a fair bit. Slip in that Karen ball possibly. Change where he actually delivers the ball as well. Slightly closer to the batsman.
And we just look at that field that he's got set there as well. There's 5 fielders in the ring on the offside, plus a slip, so there's plenty of gaps behind square on the leg side. These batsmen are willing to play across the line. Be quicker and full up there from Ashwin. He's racing through this over here. It's 4 dots already. And they're building up this pressure on Carter as well. Ashwin's on the money.
Yeah, again, just getting through his overs. Looks in a lot fitter. It looks like he's lost a few kilos for the tour as well. It's a long tour, 4 test matches. He's expected to do a lot of bowling from one end, especially hold one end up as the fast bowlers do all the attacking.
That's right, so it does complete the over. Just the single from it. 2 for 165, and that scoring rate has dropped sharply.
Yeah,
I saw that, well, nearly 20 overs ago, the score was on 120, so Short and Bryant were really ticking things along. It's just fallen off the cliff slightly, but through some good bowling and patient batting as well, because there's no real rush for the CA11. Nothing's incumbent on them to score quickly.
Yeah, and I also think that as the ball's got older, it's becoming difficult to score as well. And just the feels that India has put. But this is good for India because this is what, I mean, the nature of the pitches in Australia for the test match, I reckon, will be very similar to what we've got here. We'll go into sort of day 2 and 3. It's only until day 5 that we'll see that uneven bounce.
Good shot down the ground, that's 4. Today just come around the wicket. He's just lobbed up a half volley straight into Carter's arc. And he's hit a nice boundary down the ground.
Yeah, lovely shot. He's changed angles, Jadeja. But right to the pitch of it, and you want to be playing nice and straight. Exactly what Carter did. He's on to 18. Jadeja just possibly get a bit of a field change. Rohit Sharma hasn't moved from leg gully. I don't know if it was signalling for him. Leg slip. Certainly tossing it right up there.
Yeah, he is, and giving him quite full, as you say, trying to entice Carter into the drive. He's had a fair few siders now, 65 deliveries. It's right into his arc. Back over the wicket, just defended down the pitch.
Just waiting. We're only 7 minutes till lunch, so just joining us. Rahul. Hey. Yeah. That one kicked up off the rough. Rahul's a big David Beckham fan.
David Beckham fan.
Yep, absolutely. Not sure. I'm assuming he's a Manchester United fan as well. given that he said that was when I first started watching football is when David Beckham was playing for Manchester United, or maybe his loyalties are just around where David Beckham moved on to different football clubs. So not sure.
I'd give him all sorts of credit if he was a LA Galaxy member or something like that, and that would be fantastic from him. Over bowled as well, 2 for 169. Straight away, Ashwin's in position here to bowl this next over. It's funny that the sports that some of these people follow, sometimes we look at athletes and think of them in their own sport, but they're like us, they're real people, and they're fans of other sports as well, and there's a number of them really enjoy.
Yeah, especially a lot of these Indian players are big fans. Rohit Sharma, I know, is a big, huge Barcelona fan. See that on his social media a lot.
Sweep, paddle sweep. No connection there for Whiteman. He had the right idea as well, because it was just sliding down leg.
He went and watched the World Cup final.
That's right.
Yeah, this year I think it was one of the endorsement deals he had. He was lucky enough to travel to Russia to watch the final. So KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, they haven't seen them this morning, but normally they indulge that a game of soccer for about good 15 to 20 minutes as part of their warm-up.
Nicely bowled by Ashwin. He just saw Whiteman coming. Just got that ball just to drop on a slightly shorter length, and he had Whiteman feeling for that one out in front of his body. And nicely bowled.
Soccer drills almost become part of most modern cricketers' warm-ups. I mean, just watching the T20 warm-up almost the day before with the Australian players, they're having a game of touch football. That was nice to see.
Yeah, look, cricket's one of those funny games that you actually play another sport to warm up. Like you don't go to soccer and break out a tennis ball, a bin, and 2 bats and say let's go. It's just you always play another sport to warm up with the cricket. Maybe that says something about the cricket itself. Over bowled as well, just the one from it. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of touch footy to warm up, bit of soccer. Soccer can be dangerous though. Sometimes you get guys get a little over eager, and suddenly there's some studs up action in the warm up, and when you got the cricket spikes on, yeah, that's you've got to have a few rules and regulations. Here we go.
There you go, KL Rahul, David Beckham style. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh,
that's actually